time.
We are live. And we're down a man.
Down a man.
But he is...
Down a dad.
Down a dad. He is up a daughter, though.
Up one daughter, down one dad.
So...
congratulations, Ryan.
Yeah. During Masters Week, gets to just hang out with his newborn and not have to be with us.
Right. And he gets to watch Tiger.
He gets to watch Tiger. Tiger Woods is back.
Tiger Woods, y'all.
Today, we're really going to be focused on mainly one thing that you all might be aware of. And I don't know if we'll repeat it a couple times or not, but Tiger Woods is playing in the 2022 Masters in Augusta, Georgia.
And
he's playing. Well,
planning on winning.
Planning on winning, but he's not. He might not play. He's going to do 9 more holes to figure it out. I don't know if any of you have been watching, because I know you have. It's Tiger, just striping it all over the place.
All over.
Like
Everywhere.
all over.
Everywhere.
His swing looks really good, but we'll get into that. Hey, we'll get into that. I guess I do have to pull up more stuff. Yikes.
Quick rundown for today. We'll have a quick recap of the national championship, just so we can cover our bases. We had finally two good games, maybe the only two we've had in a couple weeks.
A while.
And then we'll get into a little very small golf recap from last week at the little-known Valero Open, of which I can't ever say that I'd heard of the guy that won it, JJ Spawn.
I've heard of him.
So we won't get in too deep on that, and then we will dive into the Masters
Head first. I thought he said he did this sheet. Did he?
What sheet?
The golf sheet? Is that what he said?
I don't believe I remember. No, I don't think he said that.
Okay. Well,
we'll just have to jot him down.
We have no clue on where these people finished.
Oh, yeah.
We know our one and dones and outrights did not win.
Correct.
So
I know who missed the cut and who did.
We've got that.
Yep. I can go through and I can look that up right now, depending on how much we want to dive into that.
We could just save it for him. I think we should save it. We can talk about the Valero.
I don't really have too much to talk about.
No, I don't either.
But that's more of excitement of other things to talk about.
Like what?
Well, let's just get the college basketball part out of the way.
Absolutely.
Real quick. So Final Four came down to Kansas, Villanova, and Duke, North Carolina. Quick Kansas-Villanova recap. Kansas dominated that game really from
start
the
to finish.
Villanova made it semi-competitive halfway through, and then Kansas finishing them off. No surprise there. Villanova was down some guys, and Kansas was your eventual national champion. So that happened, and then the game to end all games.
The game to end all games.
Duke, North Carolina lived up to the bill, which is tough to do.
It's just a good one.
And the big story there, obviously, that Coach K goes out with a loss to North Carolina, which is also how he started his career at Duke, interestingly enough, 40 years ago.
Also, it was the 100th game that they played.
Yes.
Or in his rivalry.
Correct.
And now it ended tied.
50-50.
50-50.
Yep. Hey, no ties, though.
Hey, that's good.
Right.
That's
NFL.
That's a win.
So
that's just interesting.
Yeah, just a lot of great storylines there, a lot of great basketball in that game, a lot of back and forth. Duke's missed some free throws at the end that really cost them. North Carolina ended up closing it out.
They sure did miss a lot.
So that game led to last night's national championship, which for whatever reason doesn't start until 8:20 Central Time.
Wife was like, "Hey, what time's it on?" I'm like, "Oh, it's got to be like 6
after the kids go to bed."
8:20.
Yeah. So makes for a long night. Obviously, most people are going to stay up and watch, so they don't care, and that's when they get their viewers. So people can complain, but I don't see that changing anytime soon. Kansas came out, kind of hit North Carolina in the mouth. Then North Carolina doubled back and beat the crap out of them for the first half, led by 15 at half. Biggest halftime lead blown in NCAA tournament history because Kansas came out in the second half and scored 31 points in the first 10 minutes. Mind you, they scored 25 in the first half.
Well, mind you, they couldn't shoot anything, so it was a matter of time.
They just weren't being aggressive either. Like they got downhill in the second half and just got to the rim.
Yeah,
and I mean they even had a white guy doing that.
Crazy, right? Yeah. Probably poor choice usually, but in this case,
not there.
I don't know why they didn't attack him from the beginning. Obviously, you have UNC big man hobbling. I would have attacked them from tip to finish.
Well, and the fact that they only play 6 players, too. I thought that they would try to run a little bit more than they did. But when you're not making shots, it's tougher.
Well, they were also missing. So they missed so many layups in the first half and free throw. It was just
it was not good. Kansas could not have played much worse other than like their 7-0 start. They couldn't have played much worse in the first half. So I didn't know if they were going to win or not, but they were definitely had a lot of confidence in Kansas making that a game, which they did very quickly in the second half. Within the first 4 minutes, they were back in that game in the second half. Yeah. So they were the better overall team. They were the deeper team. North Carolina had, I'm pretty sure one of their guys got a concussion within the first few minutes. And we're worried about player safety. And
they should have pulled him out. They
don't ever check in basketball. They go to the monitor to penalize the guy that did it, but they never check on the guy actual player whose safety we're concerned about.
Manic he has a mild concussion at best.
And he got hit twice in the first 7 minutes of the game.
Yeah. I mean, he went down.
Not one time did a doctor or a trainer check on him.
If that's football, you're out.
And he stumbled to the ground the first time when he got smacked with that elbow.
Oh, yeah. It was not. He wasn't all there when he hit the ground.
Stayed in the game, obviously never got checked out. They only played 6 guys. So later on, their 6th guy, Puffy Johnson. At some point got hit in the stomach is what the post.
Right.
But all we saw was him holding his chest, stomach area, and then yakking on the floor during the national championship, which unfortunately for him they lost. So that's going to be the sitting memory. It wasn't in One Shining Moment though. Disappointing. Maybe next year. And then Love and Baycott both self-rolled ankles in the game. So you had 2 self-inflicted injuries, one elbow to the head and another yakking on the floor. And then the last play of the game, Manic looked like he was drunk, stumbling around. I don't know if he got dead-legged. He couldn't stand up. Or maybe that was just the effect of the concussion finally come through.
Yeah.
Kansas didn't foul at the end of the game up 3, which everyone was yelling about. Love got 2 pretty decent looks. Obviously didn't make either one of them. But, yeah, Kansas escapes by 3. Great national championship
UNC covered.
UNC covered. After Kansas couldn't throw the ball in bounds without stepping out of bounds.
Stepping out, yeah.
So, yeah, just a lot to unpack there from like a betting standpoint. Game was 4, and it was at 3. Kansas should have been able to inbound, get fouled, cover the spread, or at least push.
Right.
Instead, they gave the ball back and a chance to send it to overtime. So there was a lot of people, I'm sure, either super excited or super pissed, depending on which side you were on. And
real quick,
it felt like Kansas had more control of that game than the final score or finals possessions would indicate, because you never felt like they were going to lose after they got the lead.
Right.
Where in all reality, they tried to pee it down their leg a little bit.
Yeah, but if that goes to OT, I don't think it ends up a 3-point. I think
I don't disagree with that. But look in this tournament.
True. Right.
North Carolina blew a 25-point lead to Baylor.
Won in OT.
Went to overtime with 3 dudes fouled out.
True.
And they only play 6. So when you foul out 3, that means 2 guys are playing that don't ever play.
Yeah.
And they still won that game.
You're right.
So, that's in my head when I'm thinking, if they make this 3, they've got every reason to somehow figure out how to win, simply because they did it before in a game against the other number 1 seed they beat.
With Mr. Yacker, concussed guy, and 2 rolled ankles.
Yes.
And was it I didn't remember which ankle on Baycott. Was it his other one?
No, I'm pretty sure.
Hurt one?
I think it was the same one. But when you watch the replay on that, one of the floorboards on the basketball court because they
that was
lay
raised.
It's in
Raised
New
court,
Orleans. So like they're bringing that in was like it moved. And like that essentially is what it looks like caused him to do that. So like you can't do anything now, but like, essentially the next possession, Duke threw the ball or Kansas threw the ball inside and scored against Manic because they were a big guy down to seal the game or make it a 3-point game.
Because potentially a floorboard. Hey.
Just a lot going on there. Like I said, great game. End of the day, at least we had 2 of the final 3 games were fantastic games.
Absolutely. And ultimately, I think you won the bracket.
I did. KU, baby.
I'm pretty sure you did that. So that's good. Good for you.
Good for me. Bottle
for you.
Bottle for me.
Good for you. You won by 1.
Ryan, I don't accept formula. Don't bring me a baby bottle in here.
I feel like the champion should have more than 1 point, but let's go with you got the regardless tiebreaker, you win.
Yes.
At the end of the day, you win. However we get there, we will get there. So that's good. Look at you.
Look at me.
You needed that.
Sure.
You needed that. Okay. Can we
small victories?
Can we
shift to golf?
Yeah. Can we do that?
Hard slide. Are we gonna? What do you think? Valero? No Valero?
I think we saved the Valero because we just don't. We'd have to scramble, F our way through figuring out where everyone was.
Yeah. Nope. I agree.
So we'll just jump right into the tournament of all tournaments.
A tradition, unlike any other.
Like any other.
Wait, did we get those sounders on here?
No. I don't think so.
Chase.
Hold on. Let me double check. Let me double check real quick. Sounds? Is there a sounds folder? It's in there.
Oh.
It's in there, but I need to get it to there. And I don't know how.
It's not on here? No.
I don't think so. Because we have to upload it with our computers. No. Bummer.
All right.
Well, we're going to listen to it anyway, and they're going to have to copy it in at some point.
Perfect.
Oh, sweet. Freaking frack computers. All right, what do we want to start with the Masters? Like, I mean, where does one begin?
I mean, I think we start and stop in the same spot, and I mean, it's at Tiger.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Start with the fact that dude barely has a leg or had a leg.
Barely had, and obviously has.
Clearly has one now.
Clearly has, and clearly has been working his ass off to get back.
We saw him in December.
Yeah.
And he was...
Played with Charlie.
I thought he... Obviously, fatigue was there, and he looked uncomfortable, but I figured...
But the golf swing
looked fine. Which was always promising. Now, when you took that snapshot, did you think Masters at all?
I thought Masters was the goal. I think when you know what the accident was, and like you said, like almost lost a leg, like obviously almost died.
Right.
If you would have asked me at that point, I would have said it was a coin toss at best. We can hear it. I don't know if they can.
Anyways, we'll get that on there. Yeah, I agree.
So, but 2 weeks ago, or I guess whenever he started playing,
when he flew in.
No, before that.
Oh,
he flew La Cava into Florida.
Yeah.
As soon as he flew, first of all, La Cava's got to make. Not that Tiger couldn't pay him, but Tiger's not going to take Joey away
from anybody
else if he's not. One, serious about playing, but serious about winning.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big thing that, I mean, as you look at the whole picture, when he played, I think the report was like 2 or 3 days in a row, competitive rounds of golf with his caddy in Florida. That was like, I got through that, and then the payoff of that was getting on the plane to go to Augusta, which was obviously the Tiger Tracker
plane. We always know where Tiger's
from
going.
last week. And so when that happened on Sunday, and he showed up and played a round in the afternoon with
JT and
Charlie. No, what day was it? Would that have been? I feel like it was a school day because I feel like the whole thing was Charlie was out of school. So I don't remember if it was Friday or Monday.
And it doesn't matter.
It
was
Thursday,
one of those.
Might have
Thursday,
like,
yeah. It was during the week.
No, yeah, it was Thursday because it was before the women's
right. Yep. You're right.
Amateur came in. So obviously plays then, goes back home, plays again, comes back Sunday afternoon and plays around with couples and JT, and then obviously has played Monday, Tuesday, so on and so forth. Like, Tiger is not a guy that is here for show. Like, he knows people will show up.
Correct.
But, like, he's not there for the par. Like, everybody kept saying, oh, he's just probably play the par 3. Tiger wasn't going to ever play the par 3. Like, I feel like if he wasn't going to play, he wouldn't have played the par 3.
Absolutely. He's not going to, for two reasons. One, he's not that guy.
Right.
And he's not going to let Charlie have that mindset.
Right.
So there's no way they would have just done the par 3. Not a shot.
So when people were saying that, I was like, he's either going to play or he's going to, I don't know if he would have gone home. He wouldn't go home because he'd be there for Masters dinner and stuff like that. But he's just not someone, like, he understands what he brings to a tournament. And he's never, I guess, in my opinion, he's never been one to try to outshine golf itself. He respects golf. So he's not going to be Tiger and then, the Masters are going on, which is what it'd be if he didn't play.
Correct.
If he stays around. So I thought from last, Monday or Tuesday that in my mind he was playing.
Yeah.
There was never a question that he was playing.
The only question I had was after that first round, that next day would have been the only day that he would have walked away from it because he's not able to recover 2 days in a row. And then when he practiced again, to me, that was like, it's over. He knows he can play. Right. Now he is in pure prep mode, and now he's doing his normal.
And the thing is like, that's the best thing for Tiger is that most of these guys are out there, they're playing the full 18, and they're learning nooks, crannies. I mean, there's a lot of great young guys on the tour right now. So all of those guys are healthy, but what they're trying to figure out is where to hit it, how to hit it, what club, do I need to bump and run this? Do I need to flop it? Those types of things. Tiger knows the course in and out. So he is literally just trying to figure out, can I walk 18 holes for 4 days and be competitive? Because he's also not going to play a tournament just to play for 2 days.
He might not be competitive playing, but he himself,
in his mind,
I'm winning. Yeah.
He can win. And that was the question asked today.
Yeah.
One, he said that unless he had a setback, he's playing. But two, he was asked if he thought he could win, and he said absolutely. And I expect nothing different.
No.
And when you look at the golf swing,
I mean, even his chips.
I mean, I'm not fading him this week.
I'm absolutely not fading him. He was cutting and drawing chips. He was doing everything possible with a golf ball.
As good, if not better than when he.
And still carrying average. I think they showed it today. Still carrying 293 without getting after it.
Yeah, he was in the top third.
And I think he could still get after it. I don't think his injury at this point isn't an injury of propulsion or swing. Mm-hmm. It's a fatigue walking issue. Right. He said his surgeon said that he'll never heal or be normal again, but strength and stuff will come back, endurance.
And I just think
so. I don't think that affects much.
He knows his golf game and the golf course well enough to know that there's not a ton of shots that are going to be out there where he has to get after it unless he's in trouble.
Correct.
So if he gets him, the bunker shot that we see all the time now is the cut bunker around the trees. That's a shot that you've got to commit to and you've got to go after.
Right.
If you get yourself in the rough or in the pine straw, something like that. I mean, Augusta can demand that you get after a shot from an awkward lie. That's my next thought is day in and day out, if he's putting himself into trouble,
awkward lies,
then yes. But according to Couples, when they played their 9 the other day, he was striping driver. Well, come tournament time, is that the case? You never know.
Right.
But driver is not an issue on the range or in a practice round as of this point, and that's where I think he could get himself into trouble. If he doesn't, I don't see that he wouldn't finish the tournament, make the cut, and possibly compete.
He's hitting fairways. He'll be in contention.
So he just knows the course too well, and I mean, obviously the course he's made so many iconic moments at that golf course.
Everywhere on that course.
So there's nothing that he's scared of. Like, the course isn't intimidating him at all. Just a comfort level.
No, but I'm glad you brought up intimidation. Mm-hmm. So let's talk from that perspective of all of the contenders out there. Everyone tries to downplay the fact that, the Tiger effect and whatnot, but we've seen it. We saw it when he won in 2019. Mm-hmm. It's still there.
Yeah.
Them not being able to be involved with that Tiger effect for essentially 2 years. 2 years at the Masters for sure. And he hasn't played in 17 months or something crazy. How much do you put into that for this week?
A little bit, and it would be more if the Waste Management Open wasn't just crazy, or we had the match play. I mean, we've had tournaments that people have shown back up again, because that's the other thing too, is like, one, Tiger's been gone, but two, COVID,
right?
As far as having, but then I look at the crowd of people that were on the tee box yesterday morning, Monday morning
practice round
of the Masters. Tiger's going to play 9 holes. There were more people there. And I don't know. I mean, it's hard. Obviously, you're just looking at a picture, but there were more people there than I would say all of 2 or 3 tournaments this year.
Combined.
Total.
Yeah.
I mean, and maybe that's wrong, but that's what it looks like, and that's what it feels like. And that's the most important thing. It's just like, when you're standing on that tee box, what is the feel? And that's the feel that those guys are going to feel for 4 days.
4 days.
So who can handle that? In my opinion, there's a reason why the Masters are a little bit easier to handicap because of that, because of certain things that you can look at, and also experience seems to really rise to the top here, just because it's a familiar course and you're not questioning yourself. And if you start to question yourself around these greens,
game over,
or on your second shots, then you're in a hazard, and triple bogey looms very close around the corner. So that being said, the Tiger effect this week, just the fact that people everyone's taught, like, not only the media, not only us, the players are tweeting about it, talking about it on the range. Like, if you're not thinking about your game, and that's not to say you can't lose focus and, get on social media or anybody else. And
it's still slightly a distraction at minimum. Like, if you're not 100% in your game, you're still thinking about it.
Jon Rahm, Jordan Spieth, Dustin Johnson, Scotty Scheffler, Bryson. If any of those guys is not playing at the Masters, there may be a footnote at a press conference of a question. If Tiger plays or doesn't play, it is a conversation that 90% of the players have and 100% of everyone else has.
For a couple weeks.
And so, like, that right there is enough to tell you that he's in their heads. And in some ways, it may not be a bad thing. Like, but he is golf's hero.
Right.
And he's been golf's villain, don't get me wrong. But, like, he is golf's hero. He is why golf is here. And I think people appreciate that. Some of the younger guys I don't think know any better, so I don't know that it affects them good or bad. They're just going to go out and swing hard anyway, and that's their game. But on Sunday,
I don't even know if it's going to be Sunday. Like, I think this one, I mean, it'll be 3 years.
I think it's
3
different.
years. Did you not see the first tee box in a practice round?
I get it.
I think the roars will happen immediately.
Oh, I think the roars will, but I don't know that the intimidation of the roars, like I think some of these guys, and it might be guys that we haven't even seen play well, that, like, guys' personality on a golf course, like, Tiger plays better with this. I think Rory plays better with this.
I agree.
Like, people were worse during COVID that are usually really good because there was no energy.
Yeah.
And they didn't know how to react to, because you have to train yourself to play in that pressure with those people, and knowing that at any point somebody might yell something, somebody might do something, and I have to be so laser focused that my caddy can take care of it or whatever. And there's times, we got the Bryson and Brooks thing last year, but that was more of a personal, like the fans were personally attacking one or the other.
Right.
But this is on a larger scale of just the impact that he has of the event. It's like these people aren't even really watching anyone else. So they have their like, hey, go Jordan, JT. You'll hear that or whatever, but I mean, this is mashed potatoes.
This is right.
We're just yelling. I mean, everybody's having a good time, but you have the tradition of Augusta brings the respect back around that this is the biggest gathering on a very comfortable course as far as like they're there and so it's palpable.
Yeah.
And that's why I think I say on Sunday for the younger guys that are okay with it, is that's when it comes into play, because now they're cheering against me.
Yeah.
Especially if Tiger's in contention.
Tiger's the only one they're cheering for.
Yeah, on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they're following Tiger, but they're
happy for everyone else.
Cheering for everyone. On Sunday, if Tiger's in contention, they are cheering against however many guys make the cut minus one.
Yeah. And that one being
Tiger Woods. So that's why I say Sunday is where it actually changes from a standpoint of that, because it goes from, yes, there's a lot of people to all of these people are against me. And I think there's only a handful of people that can handle that. Honestly, Koepka being one of them, just because I think he likes the villain role.
Oh, yeah.
And I think there's a couple other guys that we can definitely talk about, but I just think that's the mindset.
Before we get into the course, let's get to tee times. Let's get to weather a little bit, and then we'll show them the course and go a little hole by hole. Tiger tees off at 9:34 a.m. Central with Louis and Neiman. Now in that group, Louis won't be on a Thursday. I don't think there'll be anything there for a Thursday, Friday for him. But Neiman, you think?
Been playing well. Louis likes this course, though.
Yeah.
Neiman, he's had off and on success. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the three of them didn't feed off each other. So I think, maybe if it's a one play well, all play well type of scenario. So maybe see all three of those guys actually making the cut.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a good, I guess, chunk group before Woods, Bryson. I don't know which Smith that is. Just Cam Smith and Paul Casey.
Okay.
I think that's a solid group ahead of them. Group behind them, Matsuyama, JT, and the amateur Piot. Like, solid. Then Adam Scott, Scheffler, and Finau. Like, I believe that chunk.
I love that group.
Well, even before Bryson is Fleetwood, Berger, and Kistner.
Right.
That's a really meaty chunk, five. A group of five there. And I think that's going to be phenomenal to watch.
Absolutely.
Really, really fun to watch. So that'll be good. The reason we bring that up, they're going to be your morning tee times, your mid-morning tee times, I should say. And as of tomorrow, right now, we have storms. Tomorrow, Wednesday, also storms all day long. So thing will be normally they roll pretty fast down in Augusta. They're going to be soft, at least for Thursday.
At least to start, yep.
I don't think they're going to touch them. They'll probably dry them out as much as they can because that's just not how they go. So Thursday, we go into Thursday. There might be a rain shower here and there. More higher winds in the morning, the mid-morning, and more sun and clearing up in the afternoon. So I don't think that – I mean, it doesn't really matter because we're talking about 10 to 20-mile-an-hour winds. It's nothing crazy.
Right, just going to depend on how gusty it actually gets.
Exactly. So I don't think that's a big play for Thursday. It's going to be 73 degrees. I think that's great. It's the next couple days that I think for Tiger specifically will bode well and then go against him all at the same time. Now, luckily, he'll be teeing off in the afternoon on Friday. Winds are going to go 15-25 with higher gusts. I think that bodes well for his game, knowing the course. That goes for anyone with experience knowing the course. Right. 66 is cooler. However, in the afternoon, it's gonna feel a little warmer, so I think that's good for him.
Right.
I believe it's important for him to get a Saturday afternoon tee time because Saturday is supposed to be 59. Again, 50 mile an hour wind, but it's going to be 59 in the morning. It's going to be in the 40s.
Could be cold.
If he's teeing off in the morning, clearly he's probably not in contention.
Right.
But it's not going to bode well for his back. Like, again, leg, I'm not even talking about that at this point. Tiger has not played well in cooler weather with his back.
Right.
Just can't get warm.
There's a reason he lives in Florida.
Absolutely. And then we get to might be one of the most perfect days, and that's Sunday. 68, sunny, 5-10 miles an hour wind.
Yep.
So I don't think the weather's going to come into that big of a factor unless these gusts kind of get out of control. But it will cause players to miss in locations they don't want to miss in.
Yeah.
And that's going to be, can they survive them?
Right. And I think ultimately for Tiger, the biggest thing is that they don't get delayed.
Yes.
So that it's not a start-stop.
Yeah.
Bigger than anything. I mean, obviously those other things factor in somewhat, but I just think that starting and stopping has got to be harder for him. I mean, one, he's 46, but two, just when you get in a flow, you get warmed up when you're going through and coming back from injuries. Like, to me, that's a big thing for him. So, but yeah, I think overall they're going to get 4 rounds in 4 days. It sure does look like. I mean, maybe a few delays here or there, like you said, with spotty showers, but it doesn't look like any big systems or anything like that. So
it doesn't.
But yeah, let's jump into a little course preview here.
Course preview. Let's work all of the systems. See if I can get them all to work at the same time.
Wave my magic wand.
It's a really poor start already. I just don't like the one that times out. Like, why time out? And is there a setting I can change that?
Doesn't like you.
Just time. Oh, that'll kick me all the way out. And we're on. Action. We did it.
Well, there it is.
There it is.
Look at the blooming azaleas.
It's just a beautiful
That's
course.
the
And I think the best part is
gorgeous.
like it's so secluded.
Yeah.
Look at that. There's not a lot of courses that are just secluded. When you get this aerial, you end up, why are you in the middle of a city?
Right.
Like when the Genesis Open, I was like, I always forget that they're
there's a
in
house
LA.
right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
my Lord. They are in the middle of a
There's the
giant
highway.
city. Not here.
Right.
Not here.
No.
All right.
The subtle sounds.
Can you just click this and it takes us to it?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And now you can just hole 1, par 4, 445 yards.
The tea olive.
The tea olive. Yeah.
If you wanted to know.
You.
Where you want me to go?
You don't have to go anywhere.
This is Ryan's job.
So, I mean, I'm not going to get too in-depth with all of the holes.
No, we're just going to.
Hole 1 is, roughly speaking, plays about the 12th most difficult hole. So players definitely going to want to get off to a good start here, par or better.
Sixth toughest.
Well, it's all depending on if you go Masters history or from like last year.
I'm going off the Masters website.
Okay, so that's fine.
Yeah, whatever.
Sixth toughest hole. There you go. Definitely some trouble you get into. Bunkers coming into the green, a little bit of slope. Tighter fairway for a first shot, plays good for a cut, which most of the holes on Augusta don't actually
do that.
It's more of a draw course. So I definitely want to get off to a good start there. And then you've got to, it's going. There's the flyover. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
You got your bunker on the right, bunker protecting the green on the left.
What is it to that bunker? Do we know? Just an overall, I mean, I believe it's difficult in regards to its scoring, probably because it's the first
hole.
It's a first hole.
Correct. Absolutely.
Even Tiger himself, he doesn't play well in the first hole, right? So I think it's more of a first hole because it's just relatively straightforward. Now this bunker does come into play for the simple fact of I think that's where they.
Oh, it is. It's right around that 300.
Right around there.
280 to 300. So, I mean, it comes into play, but at the end of the day, it
shouldn't.
No, it's wide enough, and there's places to miss enough on that. But again, you can get into trouble if you're not hitting the ball where you're supposed to hit the ball. So It can present some issues, and especially if you're tight on that first tee shot, and there's trees on the right and left, so you can get in trouble on both sides of it. A big miss is not going to go well. So into hole 2, and one of the main keys to this course is scoring well on the par 5s.
Oh boy, scroll too fast. The pink dogwood.
Yes. 575-yard par 5. This is going to play the third easiest, I believe, on the week. All the par 5s are going to play 1 through 4 as far as being the easiest ones. That's why you have to score well on them, is because they're at some point you could have an eagle opportunity on any of them, and definitely you're going to have to make some of those to overcome maybe some of the other longer par 4s that we're going to see out there. So dogleg left, again, we're going to see a lot of that. Drawing of the golf ball this week, if you can do it, is premium because you can put yourself in better positions and in more go zones as far as attacking the green, whether it be with long or short irons. And that's definitely something to pay attention to, as Augusta is very much a second shot course. And a lot of that has to do with your position off the tee.
Let's go through a little flyover. Yeah, I mean, just a nice big draw around those trees. Mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone's got that shot.
Well, and you can actually, you'll see some cuts. The thing is, you just bring the tree line into play. And so it's got to be a tight cut. We've seen Tiger play well at this, and drawing of the golf ball is not a specialty of Tiger. Yes, we know he can do it. However, might see a lot of 3 woods and
false fronter
and short or long irons on places he's comfortable, getting the roll and stuff like that, just because he'll be able to draw the ball better with those clubs. All right. Hole number 3,
flowering peach.
And
speaking of peaches, one of the most upsetting. One of the most
peaches for me.
I was thinking one of the most upsetting things about what happened this year in Augusta is they're not doing their peach ice cream sandwiches.
Yeah, couldn't get them
because of logistics.
Yeah, COVID logistics.
First time ever. Yeah, people are really upset.
I've never had it, so I can't.
I haven't either. But it blew up.
I'm disappointed for the people.
I am.
They're still gonna have cheese and pimento sandwiches. Yeah. So the easiest par
$1.50, by the way, per sandwich.
Yes,
and only $5 a beer. Yeah. Load me up. Okay.
Easiest par 4 on the course, 350 yards. We can do the fly over here. Just not a ton of places you can get in huge trouble.
There's no flyover.
No flyover on this one because it's too easy to see.
Because it's straightforward.
T-box.
What holes did they redo this year?
They redid 11 and they redid 15.
11 and 15.
And I'll go into a little more detail on those when we get there.
Don't blame us for the lack of flyover for hole 3. Blame Augusta. Masters.com, technically. Masters.com.
Hole 4.
Flowering crabapple.
The longest par 3 on the course. 240 yards.
This one's a doozy.
It presents every issue that you would think a 240-yard par 3 would. They put a bunker in the front that you either have to go around or over, but you're also hitting likely a 4-iron for most of these guys, and some even hybrids for some of the older guys that are carrying those now.
Trouble
left. There's trouble right. If you hit it short, you're in the bunker. Depending on the pin location, the bunker will be an aiming point some days, and it will be a completely avoid other days, just depending on that pin location. So just a difficult hole simply because it's a 240-yard carry. And then you have to land it soft because the green is the size of a little bit bigger than a postage stamp, it seems. So,
a little bit.
You can see it here, false front as well. So you can't land soft and come back. Here. So you've got a little bit of help on the back. Again, pin location here
will tell you.
And as this course makes you do, and all of the great courses do, you have to miss in the right spots, and you have to understand based on your pin location where you need to miss. And that's why experience, as we've said so many times already, is so key, because 2 to 3 yards right or left of a certain area can mean the difference between a birdie and a double bogey.
Absolutely.
So,
good old Magnolia.
Hole 5, par 4, a measly 495.
Just a slight 495.
What's the Masters say that this is for hole difficulty?
Oh, fifth. What is your research? Yep. Oh, it just says it right here. Everyone can see it. Historical average.
Historical average, 5th.
That's all.
Yes. The Magnolia.
Probably because, in 1956 it played at almost a half stroke over.
Right. Well, Augusta is a course that is, even though it's very traditional, it is also very up with the game of golf. And as they see holes getting taken advantage of, they will make those adjustments, as we will see.
We'll see today.
So,
a little flyover.
So tee shot here, again, going to want to be right to left ball flight and trying to carry around or over those bunkers. And the further out most days that you are going to be to the right, the better angle you're going to have into that green, which also slopes right to left. So for obvious reasons. The nice thing with this is the bunker is, there's no bunkers in the front, so you've got a little bit more of an open look into that. Bunker in the back, just again, depending on pin location is,
not ideal. If it's up here in the front with the slope, you don't want to be back there.
Yep, the false front is what gets you on this one.
Yeah.
On balls coming into the green on second shots. So hole number 6, the par 3.
Juniper.
180 yards. And
can we just all talk about how just gorgeous this course
has about the 5th or 6th easiest hole. 13th.
So yeah, it's in that ballpark. I mean, really on this one, it's mainly the bunker.
Yeah, bunker protecting, but 180-yard shot, and 180-yard shot for most of these guys these days is an 8-iron.
Yeah.
So front bunker is usually going to be a miss-hit unless, again, we're going to talk a little bit more about wind this year being an impact on those, on those moving days than maybe we normally would here.
Correct.
Ton of trees here too, which makes the wind actually even more difficult because you can't get a feel for exactly. There's going to be a lot of times where it might be blowing 20 mile an hour, but the flag's not moving.
Yeah.
So caddies and golfers are going to have to find other landmarks throughout the course to look at to try to get a feeling like, well, if I hit this ball above the trees, this is what's going to happen. Or do I choose a different type of shot, a different club, keep it below the tree line, and try to take the wind out of effect? And
Absolutely.
So you're going to have a lot of those types of decisions that are made, it looks like, mid-tournament.
Hole 7.
Hole 7, the Pampas.
Pampas.
Pampas?
I don't know.
Pampas?
It's named for its distinctive grass, by the way.
Par 4, 450. Kind of a middling hole. Straight ahead, so you lose it right or lose it left, you can get yourself in some trouble. Bunkers surrounding the green and a very narrow green.
Look at this thing. Look at this thing.
You're hitting into a lima bean.
And slope.
Both ways.
Both ways.
So, again, bunkers there are going to come into play depending on which pin location you're looking at and, what's the miss. Definitely a little bit of an elevated green as well. So you can definitely get yourself into some trouble on this one as far as balls going through or over the green.
Fairway.
Yes.
You have to on this one.
And they're very sharp sloped. So if it happens not to hit the bunker, especially on the front side, it's coming all the way back down into the fairway, a good probably 20 or 30 yards. So
we've definitely seen that run right down there.
Yes. And hole number 8.
The Yellow Jasmine.
Another par 5, 570 yards. Fourth easiest, I believe. Again, got to score on the par 5s. We got to fly over here. But at the end of the day, none of these par 5s are overly intimidating to these players. They know they have to score well on them. So you're going to see guys take aggressive lines. There's going to be places that, you want to have angles into and things like that. But the bunker on this hole is flyable. You've got room down the left. So guys that want to play the power fade, which is the biggest drive played on tour right now for the power guys, the power fade, they have more control than they do over their draw. That's a very playable shot on this hole. And even a little bit of a cut gives you a better angle in on the second. And you'll see some aggressive shots into the green. But the second shot does require a little bit more of a draw.
It does.
Simply because of how the contour of the green is and how the fairway shapes. But, again, a scoreable hole, and you'll see guys being aggressive going for this green and 2 all week.
Biggest defense for this hole is it's uphill. It's playing uphill.
Yep.
With that bunker to protect it. If you lay up, it's a very long hole going uphill. Right. That's its real main protection.
Yeah, and you'll see the guys that are laying up, they'll definitely want to lay up, and they'll get their second shot way out to the right so that they can come straight down into that green and be aggressive coming into it. So,
Carolina Cherry.
Number 9, par 4, 460 yards. Not an easy hole.
No.
There's not a ton of trouble, but the hole is just very awkward because right in the middle of the fairway, it gets to about 15 yards or so wide. So you've got to basically hit it through the gap, and you've got a little room to the right if you get past that mid green, and that's actually the best angle to come in from, as we'll see here. We went super speed.
I didn't do it.
No.
It's doing it.
It got excited.
I mean,
see
who
right,
isn't? Who isn't
right about
excited?
there is where it gets super narrow, but then it really opens up out to the right and even a little bit to the left here. But the angle is to try to cut it through that because of how the angle of the screen runs. The further out to the right you can be and further down the fairway for some of these power guys, the better angle they're going to have and the more green they're going to have to work with. Just being able to be more aggressive. Again, if you're out of position, the screen is...
It's tough. I mean, it's got false fronts. It's elevated. You've got issues regardless. And that's the front 9.
Through 9. Hole 10.
Hole 10. This one has it as the toughest hole.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Hey, stats lined up.
Hole 10.
Really tough to not have this one as the toughest.
So, par 4, 495 yards.
Ooh.
Camellia.
Good.
1, it's 495 yards.
Yeah.
2, it almost, it demands a draw. You can't hit a cut. You can.
No.
And you can't hit a long iron here because it's long iron, and if you do that,
you're dead.
And you can't hit that into that green based on the green itself. So, and it may be easier to see with the flyover because it doesn't look like the fairway isn't overly skinny, but there's just only a certain place in the fairway, as you'll see here, you turn the corner, where you can be to be able to attack this green. And players will just, they have to, if you get too far to the left over there, if you got trees coming in there, and if you get too far to the right, you're dealing with the bunker, and then everything filters down into that bunker.
Not to mention, you can't go long.
You can't go left. You've got trees left, trees long, bunker right. So just a lot of things to avoid, a lot of places depending on where you're coming in from that you can't hit, and it's just another small green. So, again, placement in the fairway, premium, and second shot accuracy is going to be a premium on that. That playing the toughest hole, toughest par 4, and then toughest hole on the course right there.
Historically, forever. Our hole 11, the first change.
And first change and the beginning of the infamous Amen Corner.
Absolutely. Do you think they have a flyover of the new one? No, I didn't think so. I didn't think they would yet.
So the flyover is not up, but I have seen this watching this week, watching the women's amateur there and what they've done. So this is the par 4 11th. It has been lengthened 15 yards from 505 yards to 520 yards. And yes, it is a par 4. And this is, I believe, playing the second toughest.
Yep, that is correct.
Which
was before changes.
Because
they've never played this.
And so the one thing they did here that I think will help a little bit is they did move the tee box all the way to the left.
Correct. Right.
So it'll allow even a little bit more of a cut to be played. Obviously, you can't really play a draw at all on this hole, but definitely will help an angle. The other thing they did here was they moved a tree, or the way that it sets up now, there's a tree in the middle of the fairway.
Right here.
So, yeah, but there's only one there.
We can't
there's
see it,
one there now, and it's moved over. It's basically centered. So if you hit it far enough right, you actually have a clear look down into the green, still in the fairway. If you hit it in the middle, you have to decide whether you're hitting a cut or a draw around the tree in the middle of the fairway. And if you hit it to the left, yes, you have a chance, but as you can see, as you're coming down the hill, anything on the left side is almost impossible unless you're flying over the front of the pond to get onto the green, and it's hard to be that aggressive.
Yeah.
So you're going to try to hang something out to the right or maybe into that bunker. So that tree is going to be very interesting to me because guys are going to hit really good tee shots, and then there's just going to be a tree there, and it's going to be you're almost going to be mad for them, like who the hell puts a tree there? But yes, there is a tree in the middle of this fairway, so be prepared for that. I'm interested to see.
I'm really interested
guys'
to see
reactions who stripe a drive 320 on this hole and then can't hit the shot that they want to because
there's a tree.
There's a tree. So whether they go high, low, right, or left, at least they have those options. You and I would just be hoping for the best. 90% error, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's the big adjustments on the new number 11. And then we get
12.
into the
Golden Bell.
The Golden Bell, the most intriguing par 3.
It's such.
There's a reason it's on Amen Corner. Par 3, 155 yards. Nothing to it until you get to it.
Absolutely, because everyone leaves this one short for some reason.
Yes.
To me, I get it and I don't get it.
Well, the reason they leave it short is, as you look at the green here, you're hitting into another long, very skinny lima bean type of green.
This is the play. No matter where the flag is.
Also,
go there.
Yes. Middle.
Just middle it.
Whatever that club is, middle. Yeah. Now, that's why the wind.
Ooh, yeah.
Because as you're getting into these 155 distances, that's 9-ironers and pitching wedges.
It's going up in the air.
So that ball's got to go up in the air unless you choose not to. So you might see some guys choose to stay below the tree line here and hit a safe 8-iron, kind of a choke down, cut 8-iron, try to hit the middle of the green, make your par, and get out. However, these guys these days are very aggressive, especially the younger crew. Their eyes are always on the pin. And so that's why you're going to get into trouble. It's because you're going to have guys in that back bunker. Yep. You're going to have guys that go way over.
And they'll put the flag here and here. Mm-hmm. And what'll happen is they'll spin it off.
Yep.
Happens a lot.
We see it all. We'll see balls in the water.
Truthfully, this bunker in middle green is not death here. Mm-hmm. You're not dead here.
Right.
You will be over here.
Balls in Race Creek.
A lot.
Yeah, that's
where this picture makes that creek look a lot bigger, by the way.
Right. There's a lot of water. Race Creek is looking more like a waterway.
What is this?
The new Augusta,
bigger than the whole green.
It's the new
Is that what they did to it?
Augusta Dam. But Race Creek definitely coming into play here, as we see every year on a hole that you go to and you look at, and it's a very majestic hole. It's obviously a Masters icon, but every year players find a way to get themselves into trouble on that hole. And then we end Amen Corner on the par 5 13th Azalea. Again, another iconic hole here at Augusta, 510 yards, hard dog leg left. Tee shot is a premium of whether you're going to get there in 2 or whether you're hitting a miraculous fill from the pine straw long iron into this
area.
Guys are super disappointed if they can't go for this in 2, being 510 yards. But if you don't hit...
They say it's the easiest hole.
Yep, easiest hole. But simply from a layup standpoint, I mean, you can hit long iron into this hole, and you will see a lot of 3-wood. You will see a lot of long iron with guys making sure that they have a chance to fly Race Creek into it. You've got a little bit more green here to work with. Again, being on the top side of this green, as steep as it is, can get you in trouble because you can be back in Race Creek after coming over Race Creek.
You sure can.
But
happens every year.
This is probably my favorite hole on the golf course because it feels like they should score.
Yeah.
And yet you see all of the different ways that they can't
can F that up.
Or don't. But you'll also see guys make it amazing. Like, guys will chip in after hitting it into Race Creek. So, like, they'll still make a par or something like that. It just makes for a lot of good, fun golf shots.
But then there'll be players that get there in 2 and still 3 or 4 putt.
Absolutely.
Because they're so far.
Above the hole. You get above the hole here, you can be in a lot of trouble.
Absolutely.
So,
hole 14.
Hole 14, par 4, 440 yards, middle of the road.
Chinese fur. For those
got a lot of Chinese.
The name.
Fur. That's fur, F-I-R.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. It's an unusual evergreen native to China.
Yes. Makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
Now let's check the flyover on the old Chinese fur. As you can see here, fairly open, especially for Augusta. You're not going to see a whole bunch of guys in trouble here. This is kind of the area, whereas if you can get through Amen Corner, have played the par 5s well, this is where you're going to see guys go on scoring runs.
Yep.
This is get through the par 3. That's why you have to make a par at the par 3. You have to find a way to put the ball in the middle, make your par. If you make a birdie, great, but make your par because now you have eagle, birdie, eagle opportunity. Yep. You have a 5-under and a 3-hole stretch that will happen. There will be multiple people who make eagle, birdie, eagle. I will say that this weekend at some point on these 3 holes. That being said, if you get yourself into trouble before then you're just making up those strokes instead of actually gaining on the field. So, again, nothing crazy here, but keep the ball in play, give yourself a chance. There's just not a lot of protection that this hole offers. I think it's called a Firethorn, which I think they should save. Or this is hole 15. Excuse me.
Yep.
Hole 15, the Firethorn. This is the other redone hole. This is a huge risk-reward hole now. Was before, but even more so now, being the par 5. Plus 20 yards added, and they have recontoured the fairway as well. And what this has done is basically there is a 10-ish yard landing strip of where your ball is going to release, roll down the hill in the proper direction, and give you a flat lie and about 20 to 30 extra yards. Now that shot, as you can see where the trees narrow together there, that's very easy to miss that slot. And if you miss left, you can't go for the green anymore.
No. Right, you can maybe get away with.
Maybe,
left.
But you're going up over trees, so it just depends on what you've gotten yourself into. But if you hit the slot, you're past all of those and have a great look in. And you just be in full attack mode. The water doesn't really come into play. But what you're going to see a lot this week is guys they're going to go for it and they're not going to hit it. And so I think you're going to see a lot of punch outs or layups, which ultimately is fine. It's a par 5. So again, that's why I say huge risk reward is because you're probably going to see, everybody's going to try to hit that slot.
What is it to that? Do we know yet?
320.
320 to get to the slot?
The slot, yep. So, you got to hit the ball. Right? And it is there a flyer?
No.
Flyer on that one? No.
Not on the new ones.
So, it's still playing the second easiest hole. So, we'll see how much of a difference the contour of, but that contour, say, brings the trees into play more in the fairway too, because if you hit the wrong side of it, it takes you down into the trees or off into the rough. So definitely going to come into play. But again, guys are going to be aggressive on that hole all week and are going to expect to make birdies, and then if not, some eagles if they hit the ball where they want to off the tee box.
Absolutely. So hole 16, Red Bud.
The Red Bud. Water come into play here. 170 yards. And, water runs the entire hole. This is the iconic skip the ball over the water hole, and a huge contour of green. So pin placement here.
I don't think this one does it justice on the trees, though.
It doesn't fly over. It doesn't do it justice on the trees. It also doesn't really do the green contour. This green goes.
It funnels here
and funnels back to the back left. So it funnels down to the front and all the way back to that back corner. So we will see a pin placement in the back left. We'll see a pin placement in the front.
These trees are a problem for those shots.
Yes, you can't hit a draw into a typical.
They're in play. People will hit
pin placement that you would maybe play a draw from because of those.
Yeah, that flyover just did not do justice.
But also the pin placements here bring hole-in-ones into play. And I would say
it's iconic 16 right here, right?
Yep. Ish. So that one, and they'll have one on the front, on the right, that where everything kind of, if you hit the right shot, and there's a lot of different ways to hit that right shot to get the ball to that area of the green, and it will be within, you get a lot of tap-ins at this hole. But again, if you hit it to the wrong spot,
you're in trouble.
Getting it back to the right spot proves exceedingly difficult. Again, that's one of the bigger greens, though, and being only a 170-yard shot, you're going to see a lot of 8 irons to pitching wedges in, so more control over those.
Iconic hole of people just failing, right? So, Spieth, big blow-up.
Right.
Louis losing it to Tiger in 2019. That hole, I think Finau went in the water, too, in that hole, I believe. So, yes. But Sunday pressure, that hole changes dramatically.
Absolutely.
We see a lot of collapses in that regard. Nadina, hole 17.
17, par 4, 440 yards. Again, last couple of holes, 17 not overly difficult, 18 much more iconic in its contour and the difficulties it can provide. But 17, as you're coming in, you've got trees on the right, trees on the left, not as thick. Some areas where you can still get out and be aggressive towards the green. The bunkers aren't a huge hinder, being in either one of them. Obviously, pin placement pending, but just another green that is elevated, has false fronts on it, and
you definitely don't want to be long, though. Back here is not good.
Yes. Anything long here
is really big trouble.
And it's tough to chip and potentially puts you back in the bunker or back off the front of the green because of the hard drop-offs and false fronts on both phalanges of the front green, if you will.
Phalanges. All right. Last hole.
Here we are.
Good old Holly.
Oh, Holly.
Oh, Holly.
Number 18, flyover. The par 4, 465, uphill, tight window from the tee box.
There will be so many people landing in these bunkers. It's unfathomable.
Again, another available cut shot. The problem is you can't fade it because of the trees on the left. So you have to hit a tight cut with good distance. And if you lose it right, you're down in Bubba land.
Yep.
Where Bubba hooked it around the trees the year he won. I don't remember what year that was. Maybe the best shot that I've ever seen at the Masters. And that's
even Tiger's chipping.
He couldn't see the hole.
It's true.
Tiger could, and he was close
wrong.
to the green.
You're not wrong.
I'm just saying, but
you'll just see a lot of balls here.
Yeah, there's
for the angle purposes. Otherwise, it's uphill.
Right, it's uphill. There's not a ton of trouble around this green, but it presents. Par's a great score here.
There's some tiers on the green too, so it depends where placement is, and you got to hit it on the right tier.
There's a reason, and I've said it, that Augusta is a second shot golf course. And same thing here. If you put the ball where you should on the second shot, you're going to be in a lot better condition to get up and down, especially if the greens get quick with the wind and everything like that. But besides the par fives, make pars.
Make pars. Par fives.
Find a way to make par. Yeah. And that's how you have to go about Augusta, is that there's only one par 4 that you really want to attack, maybe 2. You have to attack the par 5s, and then you have to respect the rest of the golf course. There's going to be certain pins that are going to be more accessible on certain days, so you have to take advantage of when that is, but you also have to know when not to hit a shot and where not to hit a shot. And over the years, that proves very true. When you see the number one correlation to winning as far as a golf stat on this course is that the number one finisher in greens and regulation has won at the Masters 6 times over the years. No other stat has finished at number 1 and won more than once. So a lot of other stats that are very important, like putting, short game, driving accuracy, anything like that, have won once. But this is the only stat that has won multiple times, and it's won 6. And in the last 10, 8 of the 10 have finished in the top 5 in greens and reg. So it's even now. I mean, obviously the other statistic is how long have they been keeping the statistic at the Masters?
Right.
I don't know, but in the last 10, you've got to be in the top 5 in greens and reg 8 out of the 10 times in order to win. Other things, we've hit them. We've beat experience on like a dead horse here. You got to have experience. Very few repeat champions. Last person to repeat, Tiger, 20 years ago. Last person to repeat at Augusta. And then we've talked about a lot of right to left off the tee. So for right-handed golfers,
I think there's something we haven't talked about that much. Mm-hmm. Maybe a couple times. Putting's important in this in here a little bit. Putting is, I know we've been talking about the second shot and whatnot a lot, because your second shot needs to put you where your putter is relatively flat or easy
or usable.
If you're not, the speeds, the contours, everything comes into play.
Because putting off the green becomes very much in play.
Yes. Which, factors into obviously the stat you just said with the GERS, experience, all of that. It all ends with the flat stick. And I know we've hit upon a couple courses. It doesn't matter if you're a good putter or not. This one does. If your second shot is a little off, you have to be able to just navigate these greens. And obviously one of the best ones is in the field, which we'll repeat only about 4 more times.
Right. Well, and on this course, there's not a lot of flat.
No.
Whether that's greens, fairways.
Correct.
I mean, I hope
tee boxes are.
Tee boxes are.
Yeah.
Maybe not for Zach Johnson.
Zach, if you do it again.
Don't do it again.
I'm pretty sure they should just.
That's where it started, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Maybe we'll just end it. Start it and end it. Be like Coach K.
Right. But, yes, that definitely exciting week ahead. Some player news here as we get into picks. So the defending champion, Hideki.
Did you see his menu?
Yes.
Oh my God, got made me so hungry.
Can you read that menu, or can we post the menu?
Yeah,
let's post the menu.
I'm gonna find it and then throw it up as well.
Fine. He's dealing with some neck injury right now, stiffness. So playing to the minimal repeats here, that's not going to be boding well necessarily for him. But that being said, the other big one besides Tiger, I would say, is Bryson. He's been dealing with hip and wrist injury along with other items. The news that I saw came out today was that his hip and wrist injuries were made worse by a slip and fall while playing ping pong with Sergio Garcia and Joaquin Niemann. on a tile floor. He slipped, fell, hit his hip and wrist, and that made some of it worse. He was told not to play golf, basically, but before he came back for the match play and for last week by his doctors, but wanted to prep for the Masters and play in the Masters. So my assumption is we will see Bryson, obviously, this week. Don't anticipate Bryson making the cut, and then we won't see him for a while.
Did I hear maybe a fade there?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
But also, he's said he's 80%.
You can't be 80%.
And Bryson at 80, that guy doesn't know how to be 80%, which I think is going to also cause issues. So those are the two big updates. Obviously, Tiger playing or not playing is the biggest one from an injury standpoint. But without further ado, the fire menu from Hideki.
This menu. Please work. This menu is top to bottom probably the best menu I have seen.
I can't disagree. Will you read
ever.
it?
Yes.
I might get real hungry.
Appetizers. Assorted sushi, sashimi, and nigiri with the yakitori chicken skewers. Sign me up.
Yep.
All of them.
I'll do 2.
Miso glazed black cod in a dashi broth. I don't think I can get through the rest of this. Matsuoka Wagyu, which is A5 for those out there. A5 Wagyu ribeye with mixed mushrooms and vegetables with sanshu daikon ponzu sauce. And then they decides to end with something that like strawberry shortcake, right? Like we're all like, ooh, that's awesome. That's classic. Like that sounds really good. Except for it's a Japanese strawberry shortcake with a fluffy sponge cake. And if you've seen
a flucky,
if you've seen the Japanese sponge cakes, they're
you have to Google.
They're a lot different than ours.
Impression.
With obviously whipped cream and strawberries. By far the best one I've seen. I'm gonna look for it.
It's just like it's home run after home run of
like look at this thing.
Dinner, or
look at that. Look at those.
Like if you're going on a dinner date, that's like 3 amazing dinner dates in one.
Oh yeah,
is what it is.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of people that may disagree from the perspective of like that food is too fancy, but if you've had the food, it's fire. Like all 3 of those things are amazing.
I thought
for
like
dishes.
that. He came out swinging.
Strawberry shortcake's probably it's very underrated too because it's dessert, but it's not heavy.
Correct.
And that makes it even more refreshing after you've had a big meal already. So good job out of him. Already a winner in our book.
Oh, absolutely. I won't bet on you this week,
but
because the whole
hats off.
But hats off because this menu, I want to make it. I want to have that
right
this week. I just don't want to pay for it.
Right.
All right. Off the menu now.
Off the menu.
Off the menu.
Back to the course.
Back to the course. Let's get to our betting. Last week when we were getting teased by Tiger, I was like, I'm just going to take Tiger on all of them. Before I knew how he was playing his injury, I'll take him for all of them.
Just see what happens.
Just see what happens.
That's fair. Where do you want to start? Are we starting up top? Are we going to build it up at all? I mean, what are we doing here?
Well, we can start with the fader because I feel like that one's just. I think it's gonna be easy. Let's see if we say top 15.
I don't think he's there.
No, he's not. That kind of sucks. That makes it a little more difficult.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Hideki's not even there.
No.
The repeat champion isn't in the top 15.
Goes to say that his injury is probably not
right.
Good. Well, never mind. The player to fade is not as easy as I thought.
No.
Whoa. Yikes. I like a lot of these players.
That's the point.
I like a lot of them. I mean, some tournaments you're like, no, I
Right.
don't care if they're top 15. Ew. Okay, the one playing the worst of the top 15 is Koepka. But Koepka in the major.
Mm-hmm.
I got my two. It's between.
I got my two.
Mine are Cam Smith and Scotty Scheffler.
Oh, no.
Different two?
Yeah.
What are your two?
Jordan.
Yeah, probably. Good call.
And old Zally.
Oh, really?
I just don't know if I can trust him with the putter.
That's good. That's a good point.
But I'm probably going to say Spieth this week.
Okay.
Just hasn't shown me any reason that he would be able to compete.
What is he?
He just hasn't played well. Like
Seventh?
He really hasn't.
Yeah, he hasn't. I'm actually taking a different approach. I'm going with Cam Smith, who has been playing
well.
More for
the second best
correct behind Scheffler.
To the guy that
My other guy
made the fastest run to the top of golf in the history of golf.
If there was one course and one major to humble you real quick, it's going to be this one. And I trust Scheffler more than I trust Smith on this. So I'm going with Cam Smith.
I trust them. I trust them both to do well.
Yeah, well.
Maybe I shouldn't.
Maybe you should maybe I should pick Spieth as my one and done.
Yeah. You know how that's got good history.
Yeah. All right. So let's do that. Let's jump up into the one and done.
Yep.
Who do you got, bud?
Easy for me this week. JT.
JT?
Yep. His mentor is the man who may know this course as good as anyone playing it this week. And he plays well in the biggest situations. And I think his game, there's nothing in his game that is a weakness. So that's who I ride this week.
I like it. I just don't think he's comparing to the guy I'm picking, DJ, is not playing as hot. I think DJ's game has been doing the whole thing that all the old guys do, and they build up. Not ruling JT out at all. I would not be surprised. Not betting against him, not fading him.
Yeah.
But I'm going with DJ.
Yeah.
Familiar, winner, playing better, and doing it right.
Well, like you said, I mean, when you look at that leaderboard, there's not a lot of guys that you really felt like you wanted to bet against.
Not really.
So,
all right.
All guys that thrive in situations like this and have proven to be obviously we're hoping for just a top 10, 15, 20 leaderboard going into the weekend where these dudes just duke it out. And may the best man win. So,
it would be so
and there's a good chance of that.
There is.
Again, the cream rises to the top here most of the time. So,
you know what's also good? It's going to be rainy and kind of cold here this week. So what else would we be doing?
Right.
Watching
golf
all
all day.
day.
All day.
All right. Let's go dark
outright
horse.
winner. You
dark horse outright, and then we'll go top 40 because I think that's where it gets.
That's where, definitely.
I think that's where it's going to get because we can't dark horse Tiger because he's plus 4,800.
Sure is.
He's actually better odds than our 50-1, which I still not cool. What do you got?
Oh, man. I think that I will go with I'm going to go with Adam Scott.
Okay.
He's 5,500. Been at the golf course a lot. Not going to be flustered by any Tiger goers.
No.
And
Negative.
going to keep himself out of trouble.
Yeah.
So
I like it. I like the play. I'm going Terrell Hatton.
That was my my second.
A lot of the reasons you said. He's just playing really well this year. Played a lot of golf. Got some rest.
Mm-hmm.
I think was important. And can play around this course. He can make these shots. Would not be surprised.
Right.
Now we go into the outright winner before we get into the top 40. You gonna double it up?
I just don't really feel. I mean, I don't have any reason to this week, other than, I guess, technically speaking, our shitty shot is on, so I will double up then.
Because our shitty shot's on it.
And yeah,
I want to take Rory. I won't, but I want to.
that's who.
I do.
Go.
Right? I want to.
I just can't trust him.
I just can't trust him.
He was actually closer to my player to fade than he was to
Your outright or your one and done.
Yeah.
I just.
I think Rahm's going to play well this week.
I just want it for a good story, man.
Yeah.
No, but I can't do it. I can't do it.
Colin is a very popular pick I've been seeing out there. All of these guys for different reasons. But, it's hardest to bet against Scotty because the dude has just found ways to win every type of tournament all year.
I just can't get off the DJ or JT train.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree.
I'm going to do JT. Well, that could be dangerous for us, depending on who Ryan picks. Anyways.
Yep.
Off to the all-important.
Top 40.
Where is the top? There it is. So, top 40. Where is he? Is he even on there?
What are you looking for?
Woods. Where's Tigray?
Oh, he's going to be negative money to finish in the top 40.
Oh, yeah.
Minus
200. He was plus 125 earlier, and I was like, oh, that's my number.
For the top 40?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see how that got hammered?
It did.
It got hammered all the way to minus 200.
Real fast.
Yes.
I just want Tiger and everything. Give me Tigray. So what are you thinking here?
Top 40. I feel like Kevin Na makes a top 40.
Is this
plus 110?
I'm thinking the same thing, but what happened to where he was?
He's plus 110.
Yeah, but it's out of order.
Yeah, no, I see that.
So that means he wasn't.
He wasn't.
It moved.
Yeah.
Oh, then lock me in there.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Gonna take good old Nana. I like some Na. He'll play well.
I don't like that we're.
I don't like how we're doing it either.
Are we agreeing?
But it could work out better.
Sure. It's not a goon lot because there's only two of us here.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair.
And we get to split a shitty shot. Is that how this works? That's it. That's all we got. Where do you think Tiger finishes? It's tough. It's tough not to get caught up in the hype.
It is.
I mean, after eating that.
Do I think he finishes top 40? Yes.
Agreed. Now top 30.
Honestly, yes.
Okay. 20?
I mean, that's probably like the fear of 20 is that like he's playing well enough to finish top 20 and fades
late.
Fatigue fades late. But if it's not and he hasn't, then yeah. Like,
so if he's like, where does he have to be in your mind to finish top 20, top 15-ish early? So, does he have it in him to walk them down Saturday, Sunday? Or does he have to be up there?
I think he needs
in the top 5, 10.
I think it's better. It's better for him if he's up there.
Yeah.
Because of the Tiger effect that we talked about.
Well, yeah, not to mention it takes more energy to walk someone down.
going back to weather, like I say the worse the course conditions are, but like the lower the scores, the worse chance he has. Meaning the lower guys can go. I don't know that Tiger can go with them, but I don't think that guys, if it's just a hang around type of tournament,
they won't be able to hang around.
Right. And, so if it's, what do you think the winner is going to finish at?
I was going to say 12.
Right. So, like, can Tiger win at 12 under? My eyes don't know. I don't think so. But can he win at 6 to 8?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that's where.
So you think they come out of the chute at 6 under through the first 2 rounds? Then he's most likely out of it unless it's him.
Because cut line's going to still be between even and 2 under probably. So, you don't want to be right at the cut line to really have a chance. But I think if he's 2 under in both rounds, so if he's 4 under coming out of the weekend, then he's definitely got a chance. And maybe even if somebody shoots, dare you say 6 under one day, 2, 3, and 8,
to get to 9 or 10.
That's going to be tough. But the way guys have been playing,
depends
and as aggressive as everybody is, it depends on if it's one of the guys or if it's just a guy.
Yeah.
Yes. So
it'll be interesting to see how these greens are affected with this rain and what they can do to them. Mm-hmm. And we know Augusta's not going to let this thing just be, 25 under.
Right.
Like, it's not going to get there. So it's how can they on Thursday, and I think Thursday is going to be the round. If it's going to be able to go low, Thursday's going to be low, because they're not going to be able to get the greens under control for raining 2 days in a row. Yeah. If they do get it under control, then I can see where it could finish at 8.
And they might not. That being said, they might not need to get them under control as much as you would think, simply because they're not going to have the roll in the fairway that you would normally have. So you're still going to have those distance shots.
And they might not cut the rough this week at all now.
Right.
They might just let the rain take care of it. So true.
So
there's other ways they can play.
Yes.
Yeah, there's other ways.
Augusta will not. I don't think they'll allow it to get beat up, meaning they're not going to allow someone to shoot 7 under 2 days in a row.
Oh, no. They wouldn't.
So
multiple guys shoot 6, 7 under Thursday.
They're
Friday
going to be
ugly.
Better off playing that 2 to 3 under type of golf and not setting off any bells.
Yeah.
Although to the superintendents, but as we've seen in most of the tournaments this year, there's usually 1 or 2 just fire rounds, regardless of
anything,
positions or anything like that. So, that being said, you can definitely see some tightening up of the golf course, and there's a lot of ways to tighten the belt at Augusta.
Yeah.
Whether it be, they've got control of their greens, they've got control of whether or not they want to cut the rough.
They can do whatever they want,
and you can make the ball go a lot of places.
Yeah.
So
sure can.
Definitely
exciting.
Super excited, and obviously it's even
2022.
more exciting though that Tiger Woods brings in another level.
Oh yeah.
It's my favorite tournament, no matter what. It's the best tournament when Tiger plays in it. It's kind of how I look at it.
It's hands down. Like, it's not. It really isn't close.
No, not from a fan experience, not from a viewing experience, or not from an excitement of
player
field
experience.
And it depends on the players. A lot of the European players are obviously a little bit more biased to that.
So they're open,
but I don't think anybody that you'd ask this week, because if Tiger plays this one and then continues to play the majors this year, obviously the first major he played in being Augusta, being the first major of the year, being the first major back to full crowd after 2.5 years.
It's gonna be so loud.
Like, just so many. Now we're just we're layering
something
up.
we never said. It's the 25th anniversary,
correct,
of his first win.
Yes,
on top of
everything
else.
So, and a fire menu.
Oh, it's the best menu ever. I want that menu. Right. Someone bring me that.
Someone bring me
the food, not the menu.
Not the menu. Somebody's going to send you the menu.
Exactly.
It's in your email.
Oh, thanks.
Just check it.
Guys,
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
So,
there's just so much into this.
Mm-hmm.
Tiger wins it, and now everyone's going, oh, he can get 18 this year. Like, you know how quick that narrative would switch?
I mean, Tiger wins it. Tiger wins it is, I mean, we haven't really, we've been 2 in agreement this week, which is fine,
right.
But that means we really haven't had any shitty shot arguments. And also we didn't have our shitty shots, so it feels odd.
Yeah.
But there's got to be a shitty shot in a Tiger finish here that we need to figure out here before end of show.
Okay. I
so
like that.
Do you want to say top 15 over under, top 20 over under, where you're comfortable feeling that on either side you've got just as good a chance? I feel like that's kind of the range we got to.
Yeah.
30's too low in my opinion.
30's too low.
20.
Yeah.
Is 20 the number?
20's the number.
Is 19 and a half?
19 and a half.
You know how I like my halves.
You want the ties? The tie? How does that work?
Right. Don't ask
questions. Is it T19? Isn't that 19 and a half technically? Right. Or what is it?
So here's this. If he misses the cut, we both take a shitty shot.
Oh, absolutely. Because we all do.
Right.
I mean, that's just,
America takes a shitty shot. Because
absolutely.
We're more in sorrow than anything.
Correct. And then also Tiger also has a shitty shot. I mean, clearly. A couple of them.
Just don't let him go to Denny's.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I'm on the Tiger boat this week. Yeah. Give me some Tigger.
So I'm shitty shots if he misses the cut.
Yep.
Are you taking?
I'm taking. He's going to finish better than 20.
Top 20.
Yeah, he'll be top 20.
Top teen.
He'll be above 20.
Okay. All right, I'll take the other side of that.
Okay. Are you happy?
No. Well, here's the thing. It's the only reason I say that it's a win-win for me because I'll be rooting for him to win,
and I'll take a shot for him to win,
and if
whatever.
And the thing is if he's winning against this field with the guys that are playing the way they have this year.
By the way, for him not playing in a year and a half,
that's an elite. Dare I say his best win of all time?
Well, yeah, because we thought 2019 was his best win of all time coming back.
Yeah, but
arguably
the field fell, and in a way that
it's never happened for him.
It felt a little different than the Tiger crumbles.
It would be really cool for his 25th during the 25th anniversary for him to win like he won his first one. Just walk away
running.
Would it be just the most epic?
It's like 18 under to 7 under.
And just, hey guys.
Yeah. See you later.
By the way,
hey, what do you guys been up
I'm
to?
getting 19.
You guys still play golf?
Yeah.
It's me too.
Hey, warm-up's over. You guys want to go a little 18? A little 36 more?
Guys, if you get it in the hole in fewer strokes, you win. Crazy. But I don't know. Here's my question is, for a guy that's been through all of that he's been through mentally, physically, the game, how much pressure's on him this week?
I don't think just watching him this week.
Right.
I don't think he has any pressure anymore. I don't think
he's let that go.
He's not. He doesn't talk about 18 anymore. He's had so much shit happen to him.
Right.
And when you get to that point, and then you're smiling, and laughing about it,
to the fact
nothing can touch you.
Like he's alive.
He's alive.
That's his. Like, hey, today I got to wake up.
I'm alive. I can do this. I'm here for my son, my kids, my life.
And my golf swing is still elite.
Yep. So what pressure would he have? He has no more pressure anymore, I don't think.
Right.
Now, we can try to put it on him.
What pressure do you think he's putting on himself? Because ultimately, the best of the best.
This week?
That's the pressure.
This week?
Yeah.
Or over the course of the season?
This week specifically. 25th anniversary. In his non-media answer mind, it's make the cut.
No.
I think it's win.
No, I mean, I know it's win, but somewhere he's going to say, the pressure you said. Winning is not the pressure.
The pressure is making
the pressure is making the cut.
Okay. No, I can understand that. Because there's no pressure to win.
No, at all. The pressure is if he doesn't have he needs to be in contention. That's the pressure. If
Does
he's
the
not
pressure come on Sunday for him?
Well, depends on. I mean, there's a lot that plays out that way.
If he's Saturday night leader,
if he's Saturday night leader, I don't think so. I think he goes into pure Tiger mode and see it later. The pressure would come if he's a shot 2 or 3 behind because he doesn't chase down that often.
Right.
The field would have to come back to him.
Right.
That's where I think the pressure
would be.
I
mean, that's what happened
in 19 for the first time ever. So,
right.
That's where I think he would feel more pressure if the dude feels pressure. I don't even know if he feels anything anymore.
Right.
Does he feel pain?
Do we know what he had?
I don't know.
Right. And, I mean, he isn't obviously a next level of zoning that out, but it's all personal pressure of a situation, not necessarily the other types of pressure that the field is going to feel from a fans cheering against me perspective or any of those other things. But I don't know that it's a legacy perspective for him. And I think the biggest reason for that is Charlie, is that like Charlie is his legacy now and not his golf game. And then you throw on top of that, you almost died. And so to your point, like we've moved on from 18. Like if it happens, it happens.
I think it's just
there's been a revelation.
He wants to stay around to play with Charlie at some point. I wholeheartedly believe that is one of the goals.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's going to do whatever it takes to get there, change his swing, hopefully not get in more car accidents.
Is Charlie going to play in the par 3? Can Charlie play in the par 3 without?
Well, yeah, because he can play isn't the rule something like if the player doesn't like do one of the shots, he gets disqualified, but they keep playing.
Right.
And that's why I think
Charlie's just going to play
putts or something
all of the holes.
Something like that.
Is Tiger going to play the par 3?
They played the par 3. Did you know that on the first practice round they went 18 and then did the par 3s?
Okay, I thought I didn't know that they played all the par 3s. I thought they were over at the par 3s.
Yeah,
okay.
They played them. So
will they play? Are they playing tomorrow? That's what I'm saying.
Oh, shit. Well, we don't know with the weather.
Oh, if they're going to play it at all.
Yeah. So we don't.
Touche.
We don't know.
But yeah, the pressure thing. It just shows how much pressure is such a one in golf. You can put yourself into pressure. Someone else can put you into pressure. Mental pressure, physical pressure, course pressure. All of those things come into play. And the fact that Tiger can eliminate half of those, there's step 1 on the field before he steps on number 1 tee. He's eliminated half of the pressures that guys can have.
Right.
And ultimately that's keys to success anywhere.
Maybe his pressure is, since he has so many great memories and experiences in 1,000 different ways to swing the golf club, is knowing to stay within himself. That's probably his ultimate pressure now, is staying within the Tiger now, not the Tiger of what he's done in his past. Because we all do that. Every golfer does.
Right.
You have a shot, you're like, oh, I've done this one before.
But then ultimately that's going to be on Joe.
Yes.
And that's what your caddy's there for.
Correct.
And that's where that trust comes in. That's why the call to Florida
early
is
to get him in there.
So big to get him there, because we're in go mode at that point. We're not in Tiger golfing with his caddy for fun mode like we do in the We're in, hey Joe, I need you. I need to know.
It's go time.
Because I would have to say at some point he looked at Joe and said, Joe, am I ready? Yeah. In whatever
way that is
for their relationship. And Joe told him yes, because he's, And so, I'd love to know JT's further insight. I know he's going to get a lot of questions, but he's not going to give anything. And the reason I picked him is because I feel like Tiger has given him a ton of insight on the course and everything like that.
Except for this year.
But
did you hear that?
Right.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
But that's also another reason I knew it was go time.
Right.
Because Tiger speaks a lot when he's not playing. Tiger stops speaking
when he goes into Tiger vision.
It's Tiger vision. You know what he's going into mentally.
But only for JT. So is there added pressure because Tiger's playing, or is there pressure taken off of guys like
I think it's
DJ, JT, Rahm, the top, not only the top guys, but top guys that have performed here before, that now all focus is shifted.
I think they can fly under the radar until Saturday, probably Sunday, but late Saturday.
Yeah.
they can fly, they can do whatever they want for first couple rounds,
right,
and not feel anything.
right.
Then it gets into crunch time, regardless if Tiger's in or not.
Right.
Because if he's not and it's just them, well,
we got to flip the switch.
Right, we're all
or
there.
Completely flip the switch, whatever. But
if Tiger's in it, then you still got to deal with the roars in the crowds.
Yeah.
And I don't care how experienced you are, they're always in favor of Tiger.
right.
There's no way around it.
Mm-hmm.
No way around that.
But that's why I say if a Koepka is there,
yeah,
he'll embrace that.
Yeah.
A Morikawa, I would even say a Rahm, like to a certain point. Now, if Rahm's there that long, that means that his mental game is right.
Right.
Because if he's not, then he
correct,
he'll be there.
Yeah.
But that's where I question Spieth a little bit right now. Is I just don't know how much he trusts his game. You can tell that he's messing with his swing still and everything like that. And if he's still doing that on this course, that was ultimately why I faded him, is just that if he goes back to Jordan, just go play the game, like that's why Augusta fits his game so well. But if he doesn't and he can't, then
my whole thing with Spieth is what broke him? Augusta.
Mm-hmm.
How is Augusta, or when will Augusta be his fix?
Right.
I can't say it's now. Like he'll have to win in order for me to trust him at Augusta again. And there's no way I'm picking him between then.
Yeah.
Just because there's no way. His game has changed
especially
drastically
when
since
he hasn't played overly well at his home courses up
No.
to that point. So there's no reason to see in any form that
Look out.
like DJ, like been building. So I can understand that. Like I said, I don't feel one way or the other. I think he'll be in contention, but I don't think he'll win. Kind of feel the same way with Rahm, but I really like the guys that have played well this year, because Cam Smith and Scheffler's, the thing that I like about them so much is that they've played well at different types of courses. And so that's showing me that they're playing whatever kind of golf is being demanded of them that week. And Augusta can do that on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
So their mindset to me is the most in that zone. So that's why
I like that.
But they've won a lot, and generally speaking, golfers don't win a lot, so therefore picking them outright isn't necessarily something. But playing them in top tens, I don't think I'd hesitate.
No, I agree.
For either one of them,
I agree.
Probably more so than even a Rory, a JT, or anything like that. I would lean towards picking them to win, whereas I would lean towards the consistency of the play of those other guys.
The bet would be to get them in the top 10.
The other 10.
Ones.
Yep.
Bet to win.
Yep.
Which is a good play too. Pick 5 golfers, put $1 or $2 on them each to win it outright, and then go a little heavier on your top 10s.
Correct.
Because they're all plus 15, 1,200, I think, or
13.
Rahm might be
Rahm's
12,
and then
everyone's
JT's
less than
13, and then everybody else gets into 15.
Why not throw $1 or $2 on there and spread it around the guys that
exactly
are going to win it, and then go to your top 10s and really hone down on the guys who are playing well.
Correct.
And throw a Tiger in there, because why wouldn't you?
Why not?
He's going to be the most bet golfer this week.
Yeah.
If he already isn't.
Yeah,
just Tuesday night.
Augusta's already sold out every year. The Masters are already sold out. So you can't bring more eyes to the course, even though he brings more eyes to the course somehow. Right. Practice rounds and stuff like that, obviously. But then obviously eyeballs to the TV, money to gambling.
Yeah.
The outreach is
it's
unprecedented.
It also reaches every around the world, every sport, every athlete, everyone is watching this, and it's because of Tiger,
and everybody's talking about it,
and everyone's talking about it.
And he hasn't really said 20 words all week,
which is why,
which is the best part. Is that
so bad for everybody?
Yeah,
he's not speaking. That's not good.
Just in the zone.
He even spoke more when he won in 2019.
I agree. And I think that swan song effect, that goes back to the mental side of it, of that, what he's been through and then what he's put himself through to get here.
Yeah.
He's if the worst that happens is I miss the cut,
so be it. But
that's not even like you said, that might be the pressure point. Okay,
right.
That's what we're worried.
If there is one, that's it.
And I just don't. I don't see that. I just don't see him missing that cut.
Let's hope he plays well. Hope
it's
he wins it.
obviously wishful thinking, but
wishful thinking is the fact that he wins.
But it's based on.
I want him to win.
Based on visual facts.
It is true. He yes, correct.
The dude's striping the golf ball. Right?
Absolutely on the course and
that comes from everyone that has watched and everyone talking.
Correct.
Like guys don't know what they're witnessing because they feel like they're seeing a ghost of Tiger Woods.
Yeah. And
but players specifically are like, why is his swing speed higher than mine? Why is his driver longer than mine? The dude literally almost lost a leg, and all of his metrics are better than mine. He hasn't played golf in X amount of time. He's also old. And he's 46 years old. And all of this. And that's what's going through the field's head. And like this just brings me back to events where, and not to say that like because the gambling odds wouldn't be the same, but like it was always Tiger versus the field. You taking Tiger or you taking the field this week?
Right.
And like this isn't going to be the same way in the fact that, you know, a lot of people aren't going to pick him to win necessarily, but it's back to that conversation this week of Tiger Woods is here and he is pinnacle and everybody else just is.
That's what's crazy though. I didn't feel this way in 2019.
Right.
It was just a humble, good story. Well, that's what's different.
Did you hear? So Scotty Scheffler made it in 42 days from 0 wins to number 1. Fastest ever by 213 days, mind you. Tiger's number 2, 255 days. He got on a golf cart the first practice day at Augusta, and the golf cart driver called him Xander. You know, Scheffler.
Like, Scotty,
like
Xander.
Just read the card.
Oh, yeah.
Read Scheffler. Thought Xander Schauffele.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at him, like, obviously, but, like, that's how, like, that's the best
current
golfer
number one
in the world. And that's based on visual and
stats.
The guy's
and
just
what
winning
else,
golf tournaments.
What else do you have to say?
Like,
right.
You don't just, like, he could still be number 1 and finish second. Third. Like, that's the thing with golf. Dude is just winning. Yeah. And he's winning everything right now. And that's who he is to the person who picked him up.
Ugh.
And that's number 1 in the world. Like, and yes, granted, he's young and, like, people don't know him because he's made such an ascension. But, like, that's the point, is that Tiger has done all of that and, like, is still, no matter what anyone does, and, you know, the talk of Rory, the talk of Spieth, the talk of JT, yes, people know who they are. I can say now with very good feeling they will never reach anywhere close to half of that impact.
No.
And, you know, like Rory and Spieth both had that, like, oh, are they the next? As Tiger's, you know, going through his divorce stuff, going through his injury stuff. And it's like, no.
And when they faded off, I have not heard much talk about there's the next Tiger. No, correction, Charlie. That's the only one. That's it. That's where we've gone. We used to be, these young guys are the next Tiger. This is and now it's.
And now the thing is that I don't know that there's anyone that can, like, I mean, as good as, like, how many tournaments does Scheffler have to win
to even get in that conversation? He's got to win majors.
Yeah.
Right? So got to start there.
Yeah.
But he has to do more for I don't
Does he have to win 4 majors in a row?
Probably.
To get in the conversation. 3? To even start the conversation. Not get into the conversation. Because it's not even started at this point.
Oh, no. No.
Like, I don't even think one isn't it. And I think two
one of two things probably, or a combination. He has to win 3 or 4 majors, or have 10 wins a season. Right. Like, he has to do something that was Tiger-esque for us to be like, oh, that was Tiger-esque. Right. And then it'll probably fizzle out the next year.
But ultimately, like, you have to have a personality to fill that superstar role.
And I don't think he has it at this point.
Well, and at this point, and I just don't like you kind of have to want to have it. I mean, obviously Tiger grew up in the spotlight and stuff like that, but like there's a certain demeanor that you have to have in order to carry that torch.
Right.
And Rory has it. JT sometimes, but he's been in enough controversy. Jordan is just a little bit too awkward for it. So like Rory's probably been the closest thing from like everybody loves Rory. When you hear Rory talk, like, but besides that, like he's maybe the only other one. And then you watch Charlie is his dad.
He's just standing. He has it.
And so like to your point, it doesn't matter how good, and like that's kind of where I'm getting. It doesn't matter how good anybody gets before Charlie gets there.
It's Charlie. It's Charlie's show. I mean, what do we have? He's 12 or 13.
So 4 to 6 years.
Tops.
I mean, he'll be like, but he's got to be good.
Well, he's got to be good.
And you got to keep.
He's got to win.
But like, I mean, even now, like those guys are going to college for a year. Even like the Hovlands of the world and stuff like that. So you're still 18, 19. I mean, that's still that's a lot of golf to be played between now and then.
It's true.
And to say that there is
not a person,
and we can say that with 99% confidence.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And that means that Tiger's 55, by the way.
Yeah.
Quick math.
And he'll be doing the major still. And still probably playing all right. Let's go. Let's get it.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm going to take Ryan's role here. And as always, like, share, subscribe, hit us up. We haven't had as much feedback lately. Don't know why. We have gotten a ton of traction.
Yeah.
Likes and stuff on Instagram and TikTok.
Give us that Tiger feedback.
But we need some feedback. How you guys feeling? Do you think it's Tiger and then Charlie? Do you think there's someone else in the middle? Is it Scotty? And no, not his putter.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it something
Cameron?
else? Is
Wait,
it Cameron?
which
Is
Cameron?
Cameron? Which Cameron? Smith? What are all the Camerons?
No, Scotty.
Scotty? Fittibong?
Not him either. Definitely not.
Definitely not him. Hit us up.
Yep.
Let us know. If any of you are down there, also let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know how the atmosphere is each round or whatnot. I know it's definitely on our bucket list to get down there. There's
Absolutely.
without a doubt. So let us know. Hit us up. And we'll see you next week after Tigers win.
Out.
Count it. I'll put 20 on it.
Tigers win.
It's time.